and then call and let me know.
You're good, Amherst.
All right, thanks. Hey everyone, welcome to Food Farms and Chefs, and to our fans out there, I want to introduce you to someone who is well established and well known in the brewery world, Carol, who is the owner of Stoudts, and Trevor, who owns Evil Genius, which everybody knows they love. So Trevor and Carol, thank you for joining us on the show, and welcome to Food Farms and Chefs.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
No problem. Now, I'm excited, and I'm sure you guys are excited too, especially because, I mean, our listeners from the radio stations are not going to hear this until tomorrow, but you just launched a new beer as a collaboration, or working together to launch Stoudt's well-established seasonal beer. So why don't you tell everybody about what the collaboration is, and let our listeners know what they can look forward to.
Well,
Sure.
Trevor
Carol,
has
go ahead.
resurrected.
Yeah. What's that?
I said you have resurrected me.
We have. The brand hasn't been around for a couple of years, and Carol and I have known each other for a really long time, and so we've been chatting during that time through the whole pandemic about bringing the beer back to the market. And as we've seen over the past few days, lots of articles have been written about this. People are really, really excited to be able to get the beer again. So the first one coming out is Stoudt's Oktoberfest, which I believe is one of their best-selling seasonal beers throughout the years. So really, really excited to be able to get that into people's hands again.
I know, me too.
Now, Carol, your history within the brewing world is long. You had a 30-year run that you owned Stoudts for, and I did some research, behind where you started, and you even have your alma maters or mentors are like amazing. Like I wrote Milwaukee's Best. Owner of Pat's Blue Ribbon, and brewer Carl Strauss and Greg Noonan were some of your mentors, as you were, learning this. But how did you get started in the business?
Well, my husband always loved beer, and he wanted to open up his own brewery, but in the state of Pennsylvania, that wasn't allowed. And we both went to several conferences, and oh, I'm sorry, that's a reminder. Bill. Okay.
No, you're good.
Back again. So anyway, I went to so many conferences, and he couldn't do it. And we had a Pennsylvania attorney, and the way to have beer at the Stoudts was if I would do it. And I was a retired school teacher, raised my 5 children. And I thought, what am I going to do? Go back to teaching, or do something that was unheard of? And I thought, well, it may help the business, so why not? And I'm so glad I did, because I think it helped me grow as an individual, and obviously it helped keep the longevity of the Stoudts restaurant and the beer garden alive for 58 years. But more importantly, because we were in a small town like Adamstown, population still probably 1,200, Philadelphia became my most important market. So the wonderful connection with Evil Genius, and their home is Philadelphia, it just makes sense.
It does. Now, Trevor, you know Carol for a while. You had said that already, but you've also known her through the different events that the beer fest that she established. I'm going to date myself back when I was born. She established that, but you've been going to it for some years. So how did you come about approaching Carol, or how did the two of you join forces, and you're resurrecting her longtime beloved beers?
Yeah, so I used to go to the beer festival that they used to have 2 or 3 times a year at the restaurant, and that's how I got to kind of know so much more about the Stoudts beers. And because while you're there to sample other people, you tend to sample them yourself too. So I got that opportunity. And then when I saw the announcement a couple of years ago about Carol retiring and the brand, I reached out because I thought it would be nice to at least have a conversation and talk about whether there was an opportunity to kind of continue what is a legacy of being around for so long. Unfortunately, we literally, Carol and I sat down, I think it was March 8th, 2020. So literally a week later, the world kind of shut down and whatnot. So our conversation got paused a couple times. But we eventually were able to kind of come back around, and we did a test batch of one of the gold lager, which will be coming back in a few weeks time as well. But we did a test batch of that earlier this year, and her and her family came down and got to try it. It was awesome. So
It was
yeah,
spot on. I had goosebumps when I tasted it.
it was great.
Exciting.
Now, I know that obviously in Adamsville, you've been brewing for years, but Trevor, you obviously have your Evil Genius located in Fishtown, which I love, and and I've been to your brewery several times, and because I love your beers. So it's kind of like, a cohesive, like, you have such a large reach already, and I know that you're expanding upon your brand as well. Is this part of your expansion with that you're reaching out? And because, Stoudts, Carol, you're going to resume some of your industry who supplies various locations within the PA, the state of Pennsylvania. So Trevor, I know that you're expanding to different states as well. So I didn't know if this is, part of that expansion.
Yeah, so it is definitely part of the expansion. Right now, Stoudts is only going to be in kind of Pennsylvania, and not necessarily the entire state. But our goal is to like bring it back to some of the other markets that it used to be in as well. We're just still kind of figuring out those plans, but we're really excited because Carol mentioned already, like Philadelphia was kind of their home city, being the largest market for them. So it's really exciting to be able to bring it back to bars that had served it for some of these bars that we're selling kegs into now had it on draft for 20, 30 years, so it's great to be able to bring it back to them as well.
Exactly. Now, Carol, you established the beer festival that Trevor, had enjoyed. Now, Evil Genius, I know, also throws a bunch of different events throughout the year, including some block parties. So I didn't know if with Oktoberfest being released, if, and I feel like I'm jumping the gun and gonna get in trouble with Corey, but if you guys are going to, or planning, because if I ask if you're planning, not with an actual date, an event for the release of your stout beer line with Carol, if you're going to be planning some sort of party or event for that.
Yeah, no, we got like a few different events and kind of tentatively scheduled. One of them is going to be down in at the Bull's Head in Lidditz, Pennsylvania. Thank you, Carol. Pennsylvania. So they were buying the beer for many, many years. So that's really, really fun that we're going to be able to do that. And then we've got a couple other ones planned for in Philadelphia, but I don't have all of those details yet. But you'll be able to find those on Stoudt's website as well as their Instagram as well. So we'll be making sure everyone knows well in advance that where the beer is going to be.
So I have another question, because I also read that Carol, you had with your husband established like the Bavarian purity law with everything.
Oh, no. The Bavarian purity law 1516, that basically dates back 1516. That means in Germany you can only brew with 4 ingredients: water, malted barley, yeast, and hops. So all of our lagers adhere to that.
Okay, so are you going to continue that tradition, Trevor?
Oh, absolutely. Like, we're using the exact same recipes that Carol had used for many, many years. So, everything's going to be as similar to what it was in the past, and it'll continue to be so. So pretty excited about that.
Now, as far as German names are concerned, like I started looking at the names and I'm like, oh, I can't pronounce that, so I'm not even going to try. But Trevor's with your Evil Genius brand, like, you always come up with really interesting names, like, and funny and humorous. So I didn't know if you're going to stick with the Stoudt brand names, or are you going to try to switch it up, obviously with Carol's permission and blessing.
No, I think we're going to be sticking with what's tried and true with the Stouts beer name. So like we have the Oktoberfest coming out right now. Then we'll have the Gold Lager. The Pilsner will make a comeback at some point. The American Pale Ale. And Carol and actually our brewer are working on a Christmas ale as well. So that's actually going to be something kind of new, which is fun.
And we
Hopefully, Scotch Lady and Fat Dog.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, because I before you hopped on and before we started recording, I had asked her about the Fat Dog one, because I was like, I love stouts. Like anybody who follows me knows that like my love is stouts. So, you know, of course I saw that and I was like, well, what's the name behind that? And Carol explained it was from her dog.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
my 45-pound lab actually loved beer, and so I always like, and you know, we had a beer called Stout, and it sold okay, but not great. And we were in a meeting, and my husband said, you know, Ferdy loves beer and he's fat. Let's call it Fat Dog. And I was opposed to it beginning, but people love it. So I let Trevor have the fun name. Trevor will have the fun names, but for me, it's been kind of difficult. Plus, you have to realize when I started, no one knew what craft beer was. They didn't know what a Helles, what a Pilsner was, what a ESB was. So I really named beers that were to the style. So, and it makes sense. But as we got further along, I did a gear shifter and of course Fat Dog. But most of my beers are what the style of the beer is, because that's what was important.
Absolutely.
So, Trevor, out of all the beers, because I'm sure that you've already kind of sat down and gone through the list of the beers and like what ingredients are, you know, goes into which beers, which ones like that are good. And I ask Carol this, but it's almost evil asking this of anybody in the food industry.
Don't ask.
I know, but like, I'm like, for me, it would be the Fat Dog because it's a stout. I love stouts. I'm curious what's going to happen with the Christmas one that, or the seasonal one that you guys are going to come up with. But what ones are you super excited about and like that you are like going to have on tap like full time?
So the Gold Lager is definitely one that we're almost certainly probably going to be available all the time. But we're still making some plans for that. Carol made so many, almost every style imaginable they made over the years. So we have so much choice to look back on that when you said like, oh, you've gone through the list, I haven't even gotten to go through the entire list because there's so many.
Hi.
But that's the thing. There's an option for everything. You know, Carol, you'll have to remind me the name of you made a peach Berliner, I think, at one point, right?
Yes, with peach. Yes.
So that's probably for me on a personal level, probably up there as one of the ones that I'd like to see come back in the near future. But as I said, there's just so many options, so it's gonna be great.
And it's nice pulse thing, you know, back and forth. I think several you want to have year round, but then because there's so many beers available now, so you kind of want to keep people extra thirsty for them.
Agreed.
Pun intended. So I had asked Carol this off screen, but like I was wondering, you know, how hands-on she would be, because, you know, obviously she used to brew, you know, she was the singular owner and head brewer at Stoudts. But I was asking her, you know, how hands-on would she be with you as far as the brewing, you know, is concerned. So, you know, for our listeners out there, I just want to let them know, Carol, what is your level of brewing?
Well, right now I haven't brewed in years, but I do love to do recipe formulations. That's really exciting for me. And I think that practically speaking, that makes the most sense because I don't live around the corner. So.
So would you join Trevor like when you're doing recipe creations, or Trevor, are you going to invite her in to like maybe create a specific Evil Genius Stouts recipe with her?
Yeah, well, Carol's definitely going to be involved in everything that we do related to stouts in some capacity. But we're probably not going to be doing co-branded. Like it's not going to be say Evil Genius Stouts on a beer necessarily. The stouts ones are going to be their own thing because they are their own thing. They've been around and so well known for so long.
Yeah.
So, but as I mentioned, like Carol's already working on a Christmas beer with our brewer Matt, and we'll be looking at other recipes and maybe tweaking them with her permission and seeing what things we can do there. But like we're just really excited to be able to bring this back to get it in people's hands again.
Yeah. Now, where can people find, because I think definitely launched today, but where can people find the stout version, or not version, because it's the original, but the stout beer through Evil Genius?
So for right now, it's only going to be draft only. We hope to have it in cans in the early part of next year. But for the timing, the best place to find good information about where you can get it is on our on the Stouts Instagram and their website.
Perfect. And for Carol, where can we find you on social media and follow some of, the post-retirement but still not retired journey of Stouts and
Well, I have a website, obviously, so there, and also Stoudts has their own website, so I can pop in. I'm not hiding.
So they can go to www.stoutsbrewingcompany.com.
I think it's just www.stouts.com.
Yep.
And then I also have carol@stoutsbeer.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then Trevor, for anybody who doesn't know you, where can they find Evil Genius, and where can they find, if you have a personal page, if they feel like following the brewer behind Evil Genius?
Yeah, so I mean, the best place to find out all about our beers is evilgeniusbeer.com. Same with our Instagram too, and you'll find a link in there to find me too. But yeah, so that's the easiest way to get in touch with us.
Now, obviously, this is huge, a huge, piece of news. And I'm extremely excited to try your beer, your stout beer, and at Evil Genius, what is something that we're looking forward to on tap that is created from Evil Genius?
Yeah, so I mean, we have our fall beer is a chocolate pumpkin porter. So that's coming out pretty soon. It's called Trick or Treat. So I'm excited for that one.
I know a lot of people love pumpkin flavored beers and Oktoberfest beers. So that's very exciting. I look forward to joining you at Evil Genius again, picking up some beer on tap for stout and seeing the chocolate pumpkin ale. So.
Yep.
Thank you so much, both of you, for joining us on Food Farms and Chefs. And we'll definitely have to follow your journey and follow both of you with your different collaborations and where you go. So come back on at any time. And thank you so much for joining us.
Hey,
I appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Let's take a break and we'll be right back. And we're back. Amaris Pollock, introduce us to your fabulous guest.
Hey everyone, I want to introduce you to two amazing people, Anne Lastuvka and Shannon DiRaddo, who are going to be participating in the Second Street Festival that is happening on August 9th.
August 7th, sorry to interrupt.
No, you're fine. August 7th. In my head, it was 9th. But anyway, thank you for joining us on the show. And, let us know what's going on for Second Street Festival.
Yeah, so this is our 13th year producing this event. It got started in 2008, and it's just significantly grown and expanded year over year. We have our largest footprint this year, so we're going from Girard to Spring Garden on 2nd Street, which is quite a long distance. And I think the better way to say it is, what are we not going to have? Because there's food, there's drink, there's food trucks, there's vendors, merchandise. We've got street performers, 2 stages, bands, DJs, literally drummers, literally everything in the kitchen sink.
Which is very cool. And I've been to Second Street Festival several times, and it's always a lot of fun because it's like family friendly. And you know, if you want to go and shop, you can shop. If you want to go to listen to music, obviously that's there. I know that there's going to be a splash park.
Have a good one, ladies. I'll hit you up with IG.
Maybe. And for our listeners, this is being recorded live, so you're hearing some background noise, but you know, forgive that, but know that it's real. So there's a splash park that's going to be, I think, new this year, right?
Well, so the Post Brothers, they're the new owners of the Piazza Group, which was built by Bart Blatstein. And they put in a nice, like, a playground area in the courtyard, and it includes a splash pad. So, you know, kids will have like a little area of things to do. And then, you know, if they need to cool off, just head around the corner and there it is for some additional fun.
Which is a lot of fun. And then also I know that it's for all family members, so you can bring your fur babies too. So I just wanted to mention that as well, because, you know, I also know that there's going to be some veterinary hospital and PetSmart is going to be there with pop-ups as well.
Unleashed by Petco, and then also the Second Street Animal Hospital. They do a very tricked out pet photo booth every year. So you can come and bring your doggies, and they've got like a little area to relieve themselves, get some water, and then also just look fabulous.
Now I want to hop over to Shannon, because Shannon, you are, you know, representing some of the restaurants and some of the eateries that are in Northern Liberties. So what can we look forward to at Bagels & Co. and
Figo.
Figo, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. We're super excited to be joining Second Street Festival this year. Obviously, not having one last year, and some of our businesses are relatively new to the neighborhood. So first year for us to be participating, which is really exciting. From Bagels & Co., you can expect to see some frozen lattes, some frozen lemonades. We have Red Bull Cools. We're also doing pizza bagels, which is something new for us. So it'll be a first time for everybody. And then we're also doing our Honey's Fried Chicken pop-up. So we'll have some fried chicken sandwiches, which will be super fun. Keep people cool with iced coffee and a little snack to walk with. And I can tell you firsthand, and Shannon knows this, I am obsessed with their new frozen lattes. So it's a keeper for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Cool everybody down for sure.
Yeah, and I had the matcha latte. When I was there, it's so good. Like I started sipping on it, was like, oh, like I need more of this.
Definitely one of my favorites.
And now, what can we find from Figo?
Yeah, so just up the street at Figo, we'll have our typical dining room open, our outdoor patio, and then just adjacent to the restaurant, we'll have a food and beverage offering. So we have a nice little cocktail garden set up. Several beers on tap from, you know, Victory to a couple other ones, Mainstay Brewing. I'm like trying to keep track of all the things we have to offer. And then we're going to do some fun like Italian sandwiches. So we have a sausage and pepper hoagie. And then one new that we're doing really cool for the festival is spaghetti and meatballs in bread, in brioche bread. So I think it's like the Italian version of a walking taco. Super fun. Definitely an Instagrammable item for sure.
And perfect if you're going to be drinking too, because it's going to soak up some of that alcohol. So you don't have to worry as much while you're drinking.
Sure, it is carb overload for when you have too many cocktails walking up this way.
And it's perfect because I know Figo is one of the newish restaurants that is in Northern Liberties. And I'm saying that only because quarantine kind of like made everything a little bit weird. But I know that you guys, literally rolled out the red carpet for when you guys opened.
That
So,
we did. Had to match our red decor.
so that's exciting. Now, do you have any specials? I mean, obviously the pasta inside the bread is something that you're doing specifically for that like handheld Italian taco. But are you going to have any specials that you're offering for the day?
Not necessarily specials, but we'll have a couple of our cocktails that we serve at the restaurant available in our tent just adjacent. So you can look out for things like our bourbon blackberry smash, which is new to the menu. Excited about that one. And then we'll also have a cucumber mint spritz to cool some people down as well.
Nice. I'm right there with that bourbon blackberry spritz. Like, I feel like the first one there.
Yeah, and then out of the pizza shop, the special that we're running for the festival out of there is going to be 2 slices and a draft beer for $10.
Nice.
Ooh, that's a good special.
Yeah, that's a very good special.
Right?
Because
Pizza and beer, what goes better together?
Absolutely nothing. It's absolutely perfect. However, there are other things that are, in the realm of the Second Street Festival. So, Anne, why don't you let us know, what kind of shopping that we can do, or, if we get that pizza and a beer, or the, taco Italian special, if we can follow it up with a dessert, or, I know that there's also some like a photo booth that's being set up too.
Yeah, so outside of the food and drink, we do have a lot of other things to offer while you're walking around with your walking Italian taco. So actually right next to Figo's Beer Garden or Cocktail Garden, there's going to be the Germantown Avenue stage. So perfect area for chilling, listening to a ton of great bands that we have lined up. The headliner for that band is Solar Circuit. And then on the southern end, our headliner is Swing That Cat, which is real fun. They do like, jazzy kind of swing sort of covers and everything. They're really fun. So that's one thing that you can do. We definitely have you covered on the dessert front. So we have Mr. Softy, definite classic with the, little chime to let you know he's in the area. We have a couple of water ice vendors because can't have an event in Philly without water ice. And we also have churros and funnel cakes because you can't have a festival without fried dough.
Exactly.
So, yeah, exactly. And then you also have tons of DJs around in addition to the stages so you can dance off some of those calories.
That's a smart idea. Because I know everybody that's listening to this show right now, they're like food lovers. So, there's always that aspect of like, okay, well, I ate all those calories. So how do I get rid of all the calories I just ate, or like balance it out? And that's a perfect way to balance it.
Exactly. Yeah, no, it is a very delicate balance.
Now I want to actually throw back because I know that, this is also a way to not just, bring people together and have everyone celebrate, the Second Street Festival and introduce them to, places that they might not have known existed. You also do a fundraising event in conjunction to that. So that's the photo booth. I don't know who's running it, but
yeah. Well, so actually all proceeds that come from the Second Street Festival, they go immediately back into the neighborhood. So the money over the past, decade or so has gone to Liberty Lands Park, the Northern Liberties Neighbors Association, and then was also the seed money to create the Northern Liberties Business Improvement District. So that's like our general, but we also have a vendor. It's the 2020 Photo Festival. They're going to be doing a fundraiser photo booth that's going to benefit Homies Helping Homies, which is an organization in the Point Breeze area to help folks down there with food insecurity. And so it's one of those things where it's free to come and get like a professional photo, but any and all contributions, donations are more than welcome.
And, and that makes a huge difference too. Like, and I knew that you guys raised funds or whatever, and that it invigorates the area that, it's being hosted in, which is a huge thing and very exciting. So, because it's fun, it's like a community involved event. So it makes a big difference knowing that all of the funds go back into the area, the neighborhood. And, it is a gorgeous neighborhood to have, a business located on, a restaurant located in, and it's kind of like all centralized, like, that's extremely walkable. And so that's always exciting. And so Shannon, over at Glue Hospitality, what other, businesses can we look forward to enjoying in, your realm of Northern Liberties?
Sure. So we actually have four right here on Second Street. So, some things that I mentioned before from Figo and Bagels and Co. But we also have Añejo Mexican restaurant, as well as Set No Libs, who will also be participating with different offerings.
Which is good too. So for anybody who's out there that's listening, if you're looking for something fun, like, come to Second Street Festival, and it's August 7th. We'll get that correct this time. But why don't you tell everybody, where they can, find out more information and, be able to look up the different vendors, because you're going to have food trucks and, different pop-up like vendors and whatnot who are selling their fares.
Yeah, and that actually is a good point. I didn't talk about the shopping, but we have upwards of 150 vendors that will be there, in addition to the local retailers that we have on Second Street. So like Stump Plant, Once Worn Consignment, Penn Herb, Madison K Cookies, etc. The vendors that will be participating run the gamut, anywhere from, clothing brands, upcycled material, vintage, tie-dye, to jewelry, and then also pottery, ceramics, home goods, and then also just like classic art. So, paintings and different textiles and everything along those lines. It's a very nicely curated lineup.
I'm excited because in the past I've gone to different, the Second Street Festival, and it was all about, for me, all about the food and the beverages that are either, alcoholic or, or zero proof. So for me, that was what it was always about. But now, that I've been embedded in this world so thoroughly, I'm like, no, I was like, it's important to support, the local vendors and do that shopping. And so that's a big thing. But you had mentioned also Madison K Cookies, and I don't know that brand. So I'm like, you get introduced to new things.
Well, and interestingly enough, she just won Philly Mag Best Of. So you gotta check them out.
Exactly.
But yeah, to your point about where you can find out more information, I did not forget that. You can visit our website, and it's secondstreetfestival.org, and that's 2NDST festival.org. You can also find us on social media. So Second Street Festival on Facebook, and street is fully spelt out there. And then on Instagram, it's Second Street Festival, that 2NDST Festival. We should get some harmonization going on.
And I also want to mention that it is from noon to 9 p.m. that it's running. Yes, and it's on Second Street, obviously, hence the name, between Spring Garden and Girard Avenue. So it is, a nicely, sized area for people to meander down. And it's
And the good thing is that we're sandwiched in between not one, but two Market Frankford lines. So it's easy enough to take some public transportation, tons of bus lines, and also Indigo bike shares. And there's even one in the middle of the footprint at Second and Brown. So you literally can bike your way and park your bike and then head out afterward.
Which is always good. And then Shannon, where can we find some of your restaurant, Glue Hospitality, and Aversa, where can we find some of your participating restaurants?
Yeah, sure. So, like Ann mentioned on the Second Street Festival, all of our restaurants are featured on the website. You can also click through our various restaurants and concepts by visiting at Blue Hospitality on Instagram. And then our website for Figo is figoitalian.com.
Thank you both so much for joining me on Food Farms and Chefs. And Shannon and Anne, we have to have you on again because you were both very wonderful.
For sure. Thanks
Love
for
it.
having us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
I live in the area. I love the festival. It's outstanding.
Yay! We're so glad to have it back.
Yes,
I know.
I'm very excited to get there.
I'm excited too. And I kind of want to get one of those like sparkly stickers that you get or tattoos.
Yes, glitter tattoos will be vending right outside of Urban Village Brewing Company. So you can get all tatted up and looking sparkly and fresh right there.
Because I'm like, I might be, on the older side, but I'm like, I still like to sparkle.
Why not?
Sparkle never gets old.
Yeah, and then I'll walk over all sparkly and get, one of the drinks.
For sure.
And lots of that delicious food.
Oh, yes.
All right, well, thank you so much. I'm very, very excited about the Second Street Festival. Thank you very much.
Thank you all for having us.
Let's take a break and we'll be right back.
You can find Chef Gene Blum at IBFoodie2 across all social media or email him at ibfoodie2@yahoo.com. And you can find Amaris Pollock at arpollicus across social media or email her at arpollicus@gmail.com to become a sponsor of the show or become a guest at Food Farms and Chefs.
And we're back. Amaris Pollock, introduce us to your fabulous guest.
Hey everyone, I want to introduce you to Brittany Teleferio, who is the owner of Chickaboom. She is a friend of the show. She's been on before, and I wanted to bring her back because she has exciting news and she's been expanding her brand. So Brittany, thank you and welcome back to Food Farms and Chefs.
Thank you, Amaris. I'm excited to be back. I appreciate you having me on the show again.
Oh, no problem. And it's sad because I actually still need to go back to do some recording behind the scenes because I've been starting to do that with various places that I've gone to, so they can see me actually physically eating the foods of the people that I bring on. So I will have to reach out to you and have you let you know that I'm coming so that you can be on the video too.
Yep, whenever you're ready, I'm here.
Exactly. So for our listeners out there that haven't met you, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, a quick, intro of Chickaboom, how you got started, and then, why don't we launch into like the different new menu items and things that we can do with Chickaboom now.
Okay, yeah. So Chickaboom, I started the company in 2019. It was kind of like in the height of that whole chicken sandwich craze. And I just said, I want to throw my hat in the ring because I'm the best. And I wanted to challenge everybody else. So yeah, it kind of started from there. And then it really just boomed like overnight. We specialize in chicken sandwiches. We have a lot of different flavors, a lot of different sauces. And we also have chicken and waffles as well. That's one of our specialties too. We have cinnamon toast crunch, fruity pebbles, strawberries and cream, peaches and cream, and the list goes on. Some of the new menu items that I've introduced just recently have been our Chickaboom crispy nuggets. We also have our Chickaboom waffle, it's like a slider sandwich. And then just recently, last week, I started working on a Chickaboom waffle ice cream sandwich.
Oh my goodness. That in my head, that already sounds like a very thick with the THICC hashtag sandwich.
Yes.
That's kind of sweet and savory and just any foodie's dream, because then you get that meltiness. I really look forward to that.
Yes, we're all about the drip, the ooey gooiness. You need napkins. This is not something that you want to eat if you want to just be cute. this is something that you want to just go in on and just enjoy every single flavor.
Yeah, I feel like when you're eating something like that, like it has, like if it, the messier it is, I feel like I'm putting several thoughts out at once, but I feel like the messier something is, the more delicious it is. Because it's like,
Yes.
yeah, like when it's that messy and you have to like lick it off your fingers, or like it's, you know, you have it dripping on your face, like, okay, yeah, maybe if you're trying to look cute and be on a date, like that's not the best idea. But you know what? If you're out on a date and you're eating something like that, that man or woman wants to see that drip.
That's right. Guys just gotta just ask for extra napkins. That's all.
Exactly. And don't be embarrassed, because you know what? You're going out to eat. Eat. Show that person that, hey, I do eat.
Right. Exactly.
So I was looking online too, and like you have a bunch of different combos that do the sweet savory. As I said, like, well, as you had mentioned, I should say, you have the different types of waffles. The one that pops out the strongest for me is the cinnamon toast crunch one, because I love anything with cinnamon on it.
Oh, the cinnamon toast crunch is amazing. Like those are the top two sellers, the cinnamon toast and the fruity pebbles. But I'm the cinnamon toast crunch girl. Like,
yeah,
you can't go wrong with cinnamon toast crunch on top of like the waffle, and then you have the chicken tenders that go with it. It's such an amazing combination. And then we also put like our homemade cream sauce on the waffles as well. So it's really, really, really good.
I'm sure. And you know, with the ice cream and everything, I feel like down the line you're probably gonna be like, you know what, let's do some milkshakes that are specialty.
We do actually have specialty milkshakes as well. We have fruity pebbles, cinnamon toast. We have oops all berries. We have Reese's Puffs. We have cookies and cream, just to name a few.
I mean, I'll be there for the cinnamon toast crunch and the Reese's Puffs one.
Yes.
For sure. Now, you also opened up and started a Boom Juice.
Oh, yes, our Boom Juice. Yeah, so we have strawberry and lemonade, and we have our Boom Punch right now. And they come in a super cute can to match our beautiful bag that we have.
So you do sell bags too that you can get your Boom Juice, and then you also have a frozen treat line too.
Yes, we have our Crave frozen treats. So it's our gourmet water ice that we have, and it's topped with strawberries, diced pineapples, coconut. And we haven't launched it just yet inside of the stores, but it's coming soon. And then also under that, we have our donuts as well, our Boom Nuts.
Yes, and I mean, I definitely like look forward to anything, because I saw the donuts online too, and I was like, ooh, I really want that. You know, because they look decadent. You know, and put that with like the sandwiches, and it's just like you have your dessert and your lunch or dinner, and or you know what, whatever. It could just be like, I want to do a combo and like, you know, go full on and like maybe squish that donut together with your sandwich. I don't know, but
it's definitely the best way to finish a chicken boom meal is with those Boom Nuts. It's something about it at the end. Once you just eat that chicken sandwich with all the flavors and everything, and then you just, that sweet finish. That's what I look for when I eat a meal. I need a sweet finish every single time. I don't know how many other people is out there like that, but that's me.
Too, like I almost get distracted after I eat, but like, and it's not every meal, but it's definitely like dinner time. Like after I eat dinner, I always get like that inkling, like I'm like, I need something sweet. And it bothers me when I don't. So that's kind of perfect, because it's like, it's not just sweet. It's not like your, you know, atypical, like, oh, they're offering like a brownie or something. Like it's a donut. Who doesn't love a donut?
Yes, everyone loves donuts. They got to come down to get the Chicka Boom Nuts.
Exactly. Now, you also have been expanding your location. So, what's that been like, and you know, where are your current locations?
So our current locations are in Fallcroft, that's in Delaware County. We have a drive-through in West Philadelphia. We have another storefront in Northeast Philly. And then we have a food truck that's in South Philly, and then we have another food truck that does like all of our like catering jobs and everything.
You know, that's important too, because with that said, you had just had a huge event that was at Cafe in like by Temple, University of Temple's campus off of Broad Street, and it was a tasting event. But what was it that you told me prior to hopping on the show with me today?
Yeah, so we're in the process of collaborating with Cafe, and basically we'll be, hopefully, fingers crossed, at the tasting event. We offered 2 waffle wedges with a tender for as a novelty at the end of the wedding. So the Chicken Boom truck will be there to give the guests like that sweet and savory finish to the wedding.
And that's perfect. And I mean, because it's a gorgeous setting too. And, you know, as you said, like that, having that sweet savory, like, and just even like, cause like, yes, everybody has their wedding, they cut the cake and it's a celebratory moment, but having a sweet and savory, that's a combination, in addition to that, to finish off that event as a take home, like that's, I mean, who doesn't love that?
It's like the new trend.
It should be a bigger trend. I know I've gone to numerous weddings, and when I get out of the weddings, I'm like, even though I've eaten and drank, a lot of times like you just get that weird like hunger afterwards. So it makes a difference when you have something that you can take with you, and curb that craving.
Yes. And then especially with the Chicken Boom, it's in such beautiful packaging. It has that nice ribbon on the bag. It's just a great fit.
And it's nice to be able to like take that home with you, because then it's like, here's a memory. But it's when you have memories like that, like especially with food, like it lasts. You remember like everything, the smell, the taste, the way that it, you know, that it fills you. It's always multifaceted. Now, with that said, what are some of the like your, you know, favorite combinations of like foods that you get from, that you make, I should say, not that you buy because it's your restaurant, but that you make that you prefer, you know, obviously you love everything because it is your baby, but what's one of your like favorite combos?
I would say the sweet Thai chili, because I'm like that sweet, spicy, savory girl. Like I love the sweet Thai chili. And actually this new waffle slider that we're about to offer on the menu, I'm like just, I'm like addicted to it because it's so good, because you have the sweet waffles as the bun, and then you have that chicken tender, and then because I like the sweet Thai so much, I add the sweet Thai sauce to the tenders with scallions. Oh gosh, it's so good.
So I that sounds like something that I would love too. But like, what are some of your more popular, like, because I mean, I would most assuredly get that, but I would probably want to go to your to Chicken Boom and get like that, the boom sauce, and I think you have a garlic parmesan that looks really amazing. So what are some of your more popular sellers that if somebody were trying out Chicken Boom for the first time, that's like 100% go and get this, you know, as you know, your first time?
Definitely the honey garlic parm combo is the number one seller. It's kind of neck and neck with the sweet Thai, honestly, but those two are the like top sellers. And as far as the chicken and waffle flavors, I would say the top two is cinnamon toast and fruity pebbles, cinnamon toast crunch and fruity pebbles.
So really, I'm hearing go there and get those 2 chicken sandwiches and get those 2 waffles, and just like try them both at the same time, because obviously like you're gonna want like the 2 top, you know, well actually 4, because that's 4 different items, but the top sellers to try. And then, come back and try the rest too.
Yep. Because we have jalapeno honey. That one's really good too. Because I like that sweet and spicy taste. We have honey mustard. Our honey mustard sauce is really, really good. I also like, as far as the waffles, the banana nut crunch. The banana nut crunch waffle is amazing.
You have me at banana nut crunch. I'm like, and you mentioned honey mustard, and that's one of my favorite dressings to use. So for me, that's kind of like you're waving like a try this. And the boom sauce. So describe the boom sauce for our listeners too, because that's your
I'll kind of just describe it the best way possible without giving up any secrets.
Right.
I would say it's our mayo-based aioli. It has other ingredients in it, but it's just like a mayo-based sauce. So we put it on every single sandwich. Every single sandwich gets boom sauce. Every single combo gets a side of boom sauce. And I always tell all the guests, it's so important that you dip your hot seasoned crinkle fries in the boom sauce. They're like, do you have ketchup? No, we don't have ketchup, but we have boom sauce. Try it and you'll love it.
I'm sure.
Everything, our party wings, our nuggets, everything gets the boom sauce.
I definitely have to get the boom sauce. I like the, like you do, I like the sweet savory or the sweet and spicy. So, I feel like I just need to order your menu.
Now, I hate to interrupt, but you said something in your last interview that I thought was amazing. You came up with all the sauces, correct?
Correct. Yes.
That is very impressive. For people with multiple locations, all these sauces are homemade by you. I think that is fantastic.
Thank you so much.
That is awesome.
And it makes a difference when everything is homemade and scratch made.
Absolutely.
Now, as far as the chicken is concerned, I mean, I know that suppliers have been, having problems like getting supplies, chicken wings in particular. But obviously you're booming, your business is booming, no pun intended, or maybe a little bit. But like how have you been as far as getting supplies are concerned, and have you become more creative as a result?
As far as the chicken, yes, it's been difficult, getting chicken. But being more creative, I would say just trying to add other items to the menu, and just trying to create different items, whether it just be a salad or, mac and cheese. These are other options that I'm looking forward to adding to the menu, like in the future, just in case it gets harder to get chicken.
Yeah. And
thighs or something like that instead of wings.
Like the meteor chicken, chickaboom. You get very, very thick sandwiches with that one. So at Chickaboo, can we look forward to any kind of new events or any celebrations with the new launch of the waffle sandwich or the waffle ice cream sandwich for moving forward?
Yeah, definitely. We do a lot of promoting on Instagram. We probably will give away probably like the first 15 ice cream sandwiches. We're still working out all the details of the launch of it. And as far as Chickaboom, we're just trying to grow and keep expanding and keep moving.
And I mean, and you're doing a fabulous job at doing that. Like, I know your newest location, I believe, is off of Frankfurt Ave.
Yes. Yep.
So you as I said, you are expanding, and now you're with this food truck, and you're collaborating with Cascapi, and going to be offering like your sandwiches as giveaway or takeaways for weddings. It's there's a lot of stuff that you have your hands tethered into, and so it's just nice knowing that businesses are still expanding and that you're doing well.
Yes, we are. It's definitely a lot of work, but it's a blessing to still be able, because my business was born kind of during COVID. So I'm just grateful to be able to still be here and it still be standing.
Right. It was.
All right.
It was so great to talk to you again.
It was. So where can we find you online and on social media?
So you can find us at www.chickaboom.com, and our social media is chickaboom.co on Instagram and Facebook.
All right, Brittany, thank you so much for joining us again.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
PhillyRestaurantReviews.com for all information about the show. Amorous Pollock.
You can find me across social media at ARPollicus, or if you'd like to be a guest or sponsor of the show, you can email me at arpollicus@gmail.com. And if you'd like to get in touch with Gene Blum, he is IBfoodie2, or you can email him at ibfoodie2@yahoo.com.
Thank you very much for listening. Have a great week. We'll see you next week.